What is up, internet? Okay, so totally, completely scripted as always. What I'm doing now is giving more nuance to understanding why I want people to do the one leg drill the way that I'm doing it, because I've spent a lot of time doing it with folks and refining my ideas and finding out what works about it and why. So let's just jump into it. There's so many things to explain. I feel like the front leg being static is very important because it allows you to not worry about that leg. So the front leg being static is a placeholder for having a perfect brace where you can have your knee safe, not have any rotation or any bowing out, just having that be stable where it can actually just pump this way. That's really hard to learn. So the way that we start learning is by simplifying that position to, we're just going to start in the end position where your leg is locked and your toe is 30 degrees back to get your hit point well closed. So we're doing a ton of things at once. We're establishing that you can throw from a hyzer lean. We're establishing that your back foot can stay there while you rotate. We're establishing that your head can stay here while you rotate. That fixes a lot of things like taking an X step that's too long, bending over here and cranking forward. It fixes another version of cranking forward, which is cranking forward in your shoulder, right? Shoulder shrugging. If you can just stay centered in your spine and stay centered on your toe and throw from here, like your form just magically looks better and you get rid of a lot of those problems. So that stuff is happening. Another thing that's happening is you're getting used to swinging your arm on your shoulder plane. So if I have something like a big old hammer, right, I'm gonna swing this where it's efficient to swing it on the biggest arc I can on my shoulder plane. I'm not gonna let my elbow drop and swing the hammer like this. Like it doesn't make any sense. But a lot of people do that. They'll pull through to here and then try to swing this way. And the hammer is like, don't do that. That makes no sense. You want to swing out here, right? So that's what can be really useful about throwing hammers or golf clubs or whatever, just swinging your bag, something heavy to get you here. What that's doing is it's forcing you to align your elbow plane. There's nowhere to set that hammer, it's impossible. It's getting you to align your elbow plane with your shoulder plane. So my shoulder plane is here, and I want my elbow plane to stay on that. I don't want my elbow plane to come off of that and go somewhere else, because then I'm just doing things that don't make any sense, right? You have to get your elbow aligned with your shoulder plane. It doesn't have to be strictly perfect. You can do fancy stuff and get crazy later, but for now, just do that. People also fight me on, well, what if I want to throw flat? What if I want to throw anhyzer? Don't worry about it. We're just learning mechanics here. Once you have those mechanics, you can apply those mechanics to different styles of shot where you compromise your form a little bit. But this is training wheels mode. We're learning how to brace with as much containment as possible in the simplest environment to learn it, and then we'll expand out from there. But if you don't ever get it and get a feel for it, then it's not going to happen. The one other major component that is built into this whole drill is the foot 30 degrees closed thing. That just aligns your human power delivery mechanism approximately in the right place. Seabass gives me a lot of feedback of like, that's just for you, that's just the way your body works. A lot of people will be more open. That's fine. If that's you, that's great. But I think that being closed or at least neutral is really going to be right for a lot of people. I don't think toes open works for the style that I'm doing. If you disagree with that, please send me video of you planting with your foot open and throwing well. And if it's a counterexample, then I will take it as a counterexample. I haven't seen any of that yet. People that plant open and throw well are throwing with a different style than what I'm advocating for, where there is not as much heel side motion of the rear leg in a counterweight roll. So the other piece is that the hit, I'm throwing towards the camera, the hit has to happen here. So if I see a video of you from film from behind, so I'm throwing that way, and if I see the disc out of sight before I see your release, I cannot speak. Before I see your release, then you're absolutely not doing it right. If filmed from exactly behind, you should see the disc come out of your hand here. I should still be able to see your hand entirely and the disc entirely. If you instead do one of these, then I'm going to see the disc disappear behind your body before it releases, and it's probably going to go that way. So that's a really hard thing to get folks to understand too. When your shoulder plane is up here, because you're throwing flat, or you're standing up out of your brace because you don't have hyzer weight, man, it's just getting worse. You don't have a rear leg behind you counterweighting your hyzer lean, then your elbow drops, right? Then your shoulder shrugging, your shoulders are going up and your elbow is going down, and never the two will meet and find power. So you have to get everything to align. Easiest way to do that is to get it all here. You can get more containment in your hips, which will allow you to find a hit before 12 o'clock a lot easier. It'll also allow you to keep your elbow on your shoulder plane. And in that context, then you have the easiest time getting everything into alignment, being on a hyzer, having your elbow on the plane, and getting a hit point to happen before 11 o'clock. All of that has to come together, and when it clicks, it's money. You can, you feel it. You feel the power in the disc. But all of the things that you try to do to add power to the disc before you understand all of those things, they don't help. Right? You try to drive more off your rear leg. You try to wind up with your off arm and spin your off arm through more. You try to shoulder more. All of these things don't work, and they actually make it harder for you to feel a proper expression of power through a brace and a mature hit point, right? That phrase really stuck out to me, that you're not, if you're driving off your back leg and you're arming, you're not letting anything mature. You're not letting the throw age well. You're forcing everything. But if you give it time to go, then it'll get to that hit point. So you're not pushing it as hard as you can the whole time. You're just setting up the mechanics so that it works right. So I'll stop for your sake, but this is kind of a little bit of refinement about my understanding of the one leg drill and how hopefully I can help people apply it better if they understand what I'm going for. So hope that helps. See ya.